Hi everybody, Cynthia here. I'm back to share my 13 Haunted Projects of Halloween series with you guys. I'm on number 8, and today I'm going to share with you how I make some of my spooky paper eyeball embellishments for some of my Halloween projects. I use these eyes in my scrapbook albums, my cards, and even I've been making these little teeny tiny pillow boxes with my pillow box punch board, and I'm using paper that measures 4 by 6, and I'm lining it up at the 4-inch and creating it so it makes a smaller little treat box. You could put a couple Hershey Kisses in, you know, whatever you really want, but they're small. Here's a little monster one. And then I had some of this plain orange, like polka dot paper. So I just put some spooky eyeballs on that one and made like a little monster box. Okay, so there's an idea of what you could do. Anywhere you would use a scrapbook embellishment, you could use these. And they're really cute, fun, and easy to do. And if you'd like to see more eyeball images, you could just put in your search bar, I don't know if you use Google or whatever search engine you use, Halloween eye images, and a bunch of images will pop up of different types of spooky eyes depending on the materials you have. But we're actually going to make all of these today so you can see how easy and quick they go together, and I'll give you a little close-up of them. Okay, and these are some of the different inks I'm using. These are VersaMagic chalk inks. I'm using the Red Magic, the Turquoise Gem, the Eggplant, and Hint of Pesto, which is a green. Okay, so let's get started. For the blue ones up here, I've already have one that I created. What you're gonna need is a 1-inch circle punch and a 1/2-inch circle punch. So I punched out 1-inch circle punch with my white cardstock. I ran VersaMagic red all the way around the edges. Then with my 1/2-inch circle punch, I punched out a light blue and I ran the Turquoise Gem all the way around the edges. Now I'm going to draw the veins on. And basically, I'm just kind of making squiggly lines in going different ways and different shapes all around the edges. And I'll show you a close-up once I get them done. But basically, I'm just drawing squigglies. Oop. Okay. Set that aside so you guys can see. That's all I did. So now I'm going to want to glue that in the center. Just going to get a little liquid glue here. The only reason why I use the chalk ink is it just kind of brings out the dimension of it a little bit more, I think. And then in the center of the eyes, I'm using my black art pen. Kind of has like a paintbrush tip, and I'm just drawing a circle and I'm coloring it in, and I'm just kind of, I'm gonna say it, eyeballing how big, just doing a little small circles at a time until I see how big I actually want it. But those are the eyes here. And then to create the eyebrows, what I did is I have a piece of cardstock that measures 2 inches high by 3/4 of an inch wide. And this I'm going to use my circle punch with. I'm going to show you how I do it. I line it up, and you see, can you guys see the black cardstock? I'm going to cut that first piece out. So now it kind of has like a half moon shape. I'm going to go in about 1/8 of an inch in that half moon, and I'm going to make a cut. Okay, see how I did that? Got rid of that first piece, made another cut for the second piece, and that just created my eyebrow. Okay, I'll do that again. I'll try and get you a close-up. I'm taking this half moon piece, lining it up, going in about 1/8 of an inch, making a cut. Okay, you guys see that cut? And then that will go, when I feel like gluing it, when I, you know, decided on the project, that's just gonna lay right above the eyeball there. Okay, so let me show you a close-up so you guys can see. Isn't that cute? Okay, so the next eyes that we're gonna do are these white and green type slanted eyes. And for that, you're gonna need 2 1-inch white circle pieces and then 2 green colored 1/2-inch circle pieces. And then what I did was I put the 2 white ones together, and I'm not gonna cut halfway, but I'm gonna go down about, let me see how far I went down. Did I do it in half? Not quite in half, okay? You're gonna line up your scissors. If it makes it easier, do them in half, okay, for yourself. So you're gonna cut them in half, and then what's left are these 2 half circle pieces. You can set those aside. You're gonna want to do that to your green pieces, but you definitely do not want to cut them in half. You want to move your scissor over more to about that much. Okay. So you want the green circle pieces to be a little bit bigger than the white. And then all I did was I lined them up like I want my eyeballs to sit on my paper. And I'm going to take the green piece. I don't want to put it in the center. I'll try and hold it up for the camera. I don't want to put it in the center. What I want to do is move it all the way over to the right side of this eyeball and glue it in there. Okay. So I'm going to put the glue on and move it over to the right side. And I'm leaving a little bit of a white border on top and about 1/8 of an inch border on the side here. Okay, that's the right eye. Now we're going to do the left eye, and we're going to do the same exact thing. Glue. Put the green all the way to the right side of the eyeball, leaving a little bit of white on the top and about 1/8 of an inch on the side. Okay, so now they're kind of slanty looking, right? I took my black marker and I went all the way to the right side and just made a circle there, all the way to the right side again, and made a circle there with the black. Okay, so you guys can see that. And then right next to the black, I just wanted to add like a little highlight with white, so I made a little circle right next to it in white on both sides. And I'm going to show you a close-up of that in 1 second so you can see what I meant. Okay, just made a little accent with white right next to the black. And that's how I created those. Okay, so we're going to put those up here. And then the next one, these are pretty similar to the white and blue up here. The only difference is we're going to move, instead of centering, and I already have these done because these are pretty easy to do. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this back piece of the purple here. There we go. Okay. So instead of putting them in the center like we did for the blue, we're going to move these all the way to the right. So no, don't go in the center, move it all the way to the right, leaving about 1/8 of an inch section on the side here, and push that down. Now for this white cardstock, I did use two 1-inch pieces. I drew my veins on, and I also used Versamagic around the edges on both of them. And then for the purple, I cut them out with a 1/2 inch punch, and this is where the eggplant chalk ink went around the edges on this one. And it just kind of highlights the, you know, the depth of the paper a little bit more, I think. Makes it look pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing to this one. Instead of putting it in the center, you're going to want to move it all the way to the right. So it looks like the eyes are looking to the right side at something. And then we just have that 1/8 of an inch section there. And then I went in with my black marker and just drew on some circles. So those are the purple ones. And then I also created those eyebrows for that. So we're going to do that again. The half moon paper, go in 1/8 of an inch, and punch out our eyebrow. I'm also going to show you how to make eyelids. You don't see any here, but I'll show you how to do that real quick too. And then that way, we did that on our last card with the mummy. I showed you how to make some eyelids for the mummy card, but I'll do it on here as well. Okay, just so you can kind of get an idea of what it might look like on a project. Now these are a little bit different. What you're going to need is your 1-inch circle piece. You're going to want to punch out 2 white and 2 of the blue, the light blue, and then I went around the edge with the light blue and used the turquoise chalk ink. So what we're going to do for these, and I'll show you a close-up of what they look like, we're going to want to punch out here. So you're going to take your 1-inch circle punch and your 1-inch, see how I'm lining that up inside, punching a little bit of that out, and that created the curve at the top of the eyeball. I'm going to do that again. Slide it in, just taking a little section of that out and creating a curve for the top of our eyeball. We're going to want to do the same thing to the light blue piece. Going to put it in. You want to take a little section, you guys can see that in inside my punch. Just take a little section out so you can create that curve for the top of the eyeball. Hold on one second, guys. Have to put my cat down. He was tried to start to chew on my stuff. Ah, I just lost my blue eyeball there. Okay, let me do it again. I lost the other piece. Okay, we have the light blue, and I want to put that in there. Punch out a little piece to create that curve. I'm going to flip it over, add some glue, and you're going to want to meet your 2 curves up and leave about 1/8 of an inch up at the top. Okay, so this is one that's already been done, and this is the one we just created. Now in order to make the centers with the black marker, I'm actually going to show you guys how I did this. Right at the top here, this blue section, I just made like a little U shape with my marker, and then I colored it in. And that's it, guys. That's what makes these 2 here. Sorry. The other piece must have fell off my desk when I was getting my cat down. Okay, that's what makes those right there. Just missing my other blue piece at the moment. And now last but not least, we're going to make the green ones here. So you're going to want to punch out 2 1-inch circle pieces from the green and 2 1/2-inch of the black. And then we're going to cut a little section of the green off. You're not going to cut it directly in half, but just a little section so you can put your eyes like that. You're going to do the same thing with your black pieces. Cut a little section of it off, but not quite in half. And we're going to glue those on. And then for the green cardstock, sorry, I have dried up glue on there. For the green cardstock, I went around with my ink and I inked it up with the hint of pesto, okay, which I'll show you in a minute. So for this eye here, the right eye, we're going to move all the way to the left. You're not going to want to glue that quite in the center here. You're going to want to move all the way to the left, push it down so that you have a little bit of green showing up top and about 1/8 of an inch on the side. Set that back down, and then this one we're going to want to glue this section here. I can pick my card up all the way to the right side. Okay, so about 1/8 of an inch here and a little section up top. And that's what creates that look there. And then just like I did on this eye, I'm going to take my white pen, and for the right eyeball, I'm going to go all the way to the left and create a U shape. And I'll show you guys that close up. I went all the way to the left. I created a little U, and then I'm going to color that in. Okay? Set that down, and then for this eye, this is our left side. You're going to want to go all the way to the right and create your U shape. And then color it in. Okay, so they end up looking like that. Okay, and like I said, I went around with this green here, and I just used the pesto chalk ink all the way around the edges. And it just adds something to it, I think, when you do that. Okay, now for the round eyes, if you wanted to make yourself, instead of eyebrows, which will move these eyebrows out of the way, put them off to the side. If you want to create an eyelid, you need, since the whites of the eyes are 1 inch, you want 1-inch eyelid pieces, and those you're going to cut in half. Okay, now I like to add dimension to my eyelids. You don't have to. You could just take an eyelid and an eyeball and kind of maybe cock it a little bit. Okay, that would be your, you could glue it on there like that, which looks cute in itself. Or you could get foam dot, which I'm going to get out. And I'm going to cut that foam dot in half. And I'm going to put a foam dot on each side of my eyelid. And I'm going to add that to the top there. And I'll put another one on. And I'm just doing it this way so you guys can see the difference between the ones that have like foam dots under them that show a lot more dimension, and then the ones that don't. Let me make sure I did this properly. And then that way y'all can see the difference. Okay, so those are, let me Let me go in a little bit closer. Okay. These are the ones that don't have any foam dots under them, and they look cute just by themselves, but these are the ones that have the foam dots. It just adds a little bit of dimension to them. So anyway, guys, that's some of my eyeball embellishments for scrapbooking and card making and treat bags and boxes and whatever you want to use yours for. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Take care and have fun creating yours.